Okay, so today we're going over Module 9.5. It's called the mid-segment of a trapezoid, and the objective is students will understand the relationship between the mid-segment of a trapezoid and the basis. So here's example 1. Okay, so example 1 is just what a mid-segment is. So in the trapezoid, so the mid-segment is the line that goes down the middle. And remember, these are the two bases. So you have this one here, and this one right here, the base. And remember the sign right there means parallel. So same thing up here. And then the other two sides of the trapezoid are the legs. So this right here and this right here are the legs. Okay, now what the midsegment does is it bisects the two legs. So that means that it cuts it in half. So that's why there's these two. And then this one has one because it cuts it in half. Remember, that's what the word bisect means. Another thing is the midsegment is also parallel to the two bases. So it's parallel to the two bases. So that means that this line, you can also put another arrow on that. Okay, so now the midsegment theorem, what we say here is we use this formula. So it says xy equals half BC plus AD. So remember, xy is the midsegment. So that segment is equal to half of BC plus AD. So remember the AD is right here. So to find the length of xy, all you do is add the length of BC and AD and then divide it by 2. So it's using go an example using this. So here they tell us that BC is 8. So BC is 8 right here. And also tell us that AD is 12. So that's AD right here. And we want to solve for the length of xy. So xy is that right there. So we know that BC is 8, AD is 12. So we want to solve for the length of xy. So we know xy is equal to half BC plus AD. Okay, so first thing we do is we take 8 and 12 and we add them together. So that gives us 20. And then half of 20 is 10. So we say xy equals 10. So what I could do here is that means that this right here is the length of 10. Okay, so let's go over example 4. Again, here we're using the midsegment again. So in this example, they already give you the two lengths. So they're asking you solve for the length of xy. So remember xy is right here. So again, using the same formula, we have xy, and that's equal to FG, which is this segment right here, plus EH, which is this segment right here. So what we do here is we add 10.3 plus 12.5, and then we take half of that. So we get 10.3 plus 12.5 gives us 22.8, and then half of 22.8 is 11.4. So that means that this segment right here, this is 11.4. Okay. All right, now example 5. Okay, so again, here we're going to solve for them using the midsegment theorem, but this time they wanted to solve for the length of JM. So if you look at the trapezoid they give us here, JM is actually this segment right here. And the values they give us is they give us PQ, which is 9.8, and then they give us KL, which is 8.3. So when you set up the formula, it's still the midsegment PQ is half of the two bases, the sum of the two bases. So we know that KL is 8.3. They give us PQ, which is 9.8. So we're trying to solve for JM, which is that right there. So when we substitute in the values, you know PQ is 9.8, KL is 8.3, and then JM, we don't know what that is. Okay, so now since you want to isolate JM, the way we get rid of this 1/2 is we multiply both sides by 2. So 2 times 1/2, that means these two eliminate each other. So 2 times 9.8, that gives us 19.6 equals 8.3 plus JM. So all I do now is just subtract 8.3 from both sides. So I get JM is equal to 11.3. That's my answer right there. So that means that JM right here is 11.3. Okay, so now example 6. Okay, so in the trapezoid here, so they told us that PQ is 2 times RS, and we want to find XY. Okay, so we're going to solve for XY. That's what you're asking us to solve for. So this is XY here. They give us PQ, but they still haven't given us RS. Okay, so here, since they tell us this equation, PQ is 2 times RS. We could also say that RS is half of 16.8. Okay, so remember 16.8 is just the length of PQ over here. So half of 16.8 is 8.4, which means that RS is 8.4. So we put that in there. Okay. So now when we solve it using the midsegment theorem, here we have XY. Remember that's the midsegment is equal to half of RS plus QP. So we do there, just substituting the values. We don't know what XY is yet. But we know RS is 8.4, QP is 16.8. So we add the two together, which gives us 25.2. And to solve for XY, we just take half of 25.2, which gives us 12.6. So it means here that XY is equal to 12.6. So it means that the 7 right here is 12.6. Okay, now example 7. Okay, so here it says trapezoid PQRS. PQ is equal to 4 times RS. We're going to determine the length of XY. Okay, so again, XY is the segment right here. And they give us the length of PQ. And we're going to solve for the length of RS. And again, they tell us that RS is equal to 4 times PQ. 4 times RS is equal to PQ. So that means that RS is 1/4 of PQ. Or we divide PQ by 4. Which gives us a length of 4.6 for RS. Just right here. So using the midsegment theorem again, we have XY equals half of RS plus QP. So again, RS and QP, those two are given to us. And then we're going to solve for the length of XY. So just substitute in the values. So we have RS is 4.6, QP is 18.4. Add them together. That gives us 23. And then half of 23 is 11.5. So that means that XY is 11.5. Okay. Now our last example, example 8. So it says here PQ is 2 times JK. And we're going to determine the length of LM. So here what they give us. So we're going to find the length of LM. And LM is this segment right here. So they give us PQP or PQ, which is this length right here. And we don't know what JK is. But they did give us this formula that PQ is 2 times JK. So we could also say that JK is half of PQ, or half of 7.4. Okay, so half of 7.4 gives us 3.7. It means that this length here is 3.7 JK. Oh, okay, I made a little mistake right there. Okay, change this to JK. Okay, so JK is 3.7. Okay, so now again we use the same formula here. PQ is equal to half of JK plus LM. So PQ again is half of JK plus LM. All right, so let's substitute in the values. So we know what PQ is, we know what JK is, we don't know what LM is. So PQ is 7.4, JK is 3.7. I'm going to solve for LM. So again here, first thing we do is you're going to multiply both sides by 2 to get LM out of the parentheses. So every time multiplying by 2 means this half and this 2 gets eliminated. So we have 7.4 times 2 is 14.8 equals 3.7 plus LM. And all we do now is just subtract 3.7 from both sides, which gives us 11.1 is equal to LM, which means that this segment here is equal to 11.1. Okay, so we're done with today's notes.